How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. It had a slight pullback on the Friday, and many people have been asking, Dre, what are your thoughts? It's been a while since you covered it. Of course, ChargePoint has been getting a lot of attention. There's a lot of demand inside of the markets, and it has been doing very well. And we've discussed about this in previous videos. But I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on Friday. You can see we closed at $18.47, being down 1.49%. On the low, it tested $18.14, and then on the high, testing $19.14. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 5.981 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 7.855 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we've seen a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 62.52. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, but we are above the 100-day, as well as the 21-day EMA, and as well as for the 50-day. So we could see the 21-day EMA has crossed over our 50-day moving average, and ChargePoint continues to be on a strong uptrend. So we end up having a pullback for this coming week. I would expect support to hold up right here around 1750. And if 1750 does not hold, then I'd want to see us being able to hold the 21-day EMA, which is right around $16.82. And this is where I would look at as far as a possible entry for anyone who is interested. But of course, this is not financial advice, because you can see ChargePoint has been on quite the uptrend due to recent events that has been going on economically. And I could see this continuing, especially going into April. April's known for being a strong month for stocks overall in general. So what this would mean, I would want to see ChargePoint getting here to the 200-day around $21.19 in the month of April. I feel this is very doable here. And the fact that we've been on this strong uptrend shows that, you know what, there's a lot of buyers who are starting to step in. So that's why if we end up having that pullback, I would say you'd want to give it a very close look. But for the most part, chart continues to look strong. So let's just continue to consolidate like we've done in the past every time we get to new levels and see where ChargePoint can go, which I'm looking for this 200-day moving average in April. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for ChargePoint. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings we have here for March of 25th, we have JP Morgan Climate Change that purchased 6,430 shares. We also have Fidelity that purchased 38,351 shares. And then we have ARC Transparency ETF that purchased 11,254 shares. And then for the 9th, we have Norges Bank that purchased just over 1.7 million shares. And that's what we have for the 9th. As you can see from before, we have a good amount of closed positions for the 1st. And another thing that I want to bring to your attention, we could see from the chart here, institutions have been loading up on shares for ChargePoint, taking into consideration for March. And it's very noticeable compared to what we've seen in the past. And then when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 59.43%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 1.4 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.8 million, updated just now. And then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 1.07%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 24th, it was at 55.08. And then for the close of the 25th, being at 59.43. So one thing that is clear, ChargePoint does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we can see on the inflow it's at 14.19 million, and then on the outflow it's at 14.14 million. So overall it was an inflow day, but it was fairly close. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 8.03, and then on the small it was 6.16. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 0, on the medium it is 8.26, and then on the small it is 5.88. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for the close of the 25th we had 0, and we've noticed this for the past 4 trading days outside of the outflow day that we've had on the 21st, which is at just over 253,000. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And of course, for the large represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had 0 on both sides. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it is at 1.79%. So this is a consistent range for ChargePoint. And what this shows us, many people who are inside of this play are holding on to their positions. There is no surprises there since it has been on a strong uptrend and it's back to consolidating, getting ready for the next move up. So let's go on to the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, when it comes to the price action, we can clearly see on the chart it is going through some consolidation. So if it's able to hold up the $18 level for the rest of this week, we could see ChargePoint gaining to $20. This is very achievable just by taking a look at the technicals alone. And if you're looking for a strong bullish reversal, then you want to see ChargePoint get above $22, which would put it back into a bull market because it would be trading above the 200-day moving average. But as far as if it decides to pull back, we could potentially get down to around $17.50. So this might be an area that you want to take a look at, maybe if you were thinking about a swing trade. But do note, we've been talking about ChargePoint for quite some time on this channel, even when it was a lot cheaper than what you're currently seeing, back when it had that dip at the beginning of the month. And I was saying, if you believe in the long-term prospects, or if you're looking to swing trade it, then you could have a lot of upside potential here. And the fact that we have been moving up very nicely, I know many of you are enjoying it, especially seeing green inside of your portfolio in these choppy markets. And we also had some recent news that came out that they have a collaboration going on with Toyota. So they want to help out in regards to in-home charging and also just building out more infrastructure. And we know that is very key, and that's one of Biden's main agendas. So just knowing that ChargePoint is in a prime position for growth and the stock price will continue to move as we see more strength inside of the market, I feel there's a great opportunity here, and I think it's far from slowing down. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see institutions have been loading up on shares, and they have been loading up a lot as of late, especially for the month of March, where it experienced the most weakness in the earlier sessions. So that's why I want to make sure you keep this play on your radar. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, of course it continues to have short squeeze potential. No surprises there since ChargePoint is not profitable as of yet. And we've spoken about this in previous videos as well. So stocks like these, you're going to have a lot of shorts wanting to get in. We're going to be in inflationary environments, and it's very key for growth stocks to start showing that, you know what, there's some path to profitability. And ChargePoint is going in that direction, but it's still going to be taking some time, and that's why you see a lot of volatility in the stock price. But aside from that, if you're a long-term investor, this should not matter to you whatsoever. And if you are swing trading ChargePoint, just make sure that you're moving up your stops and you have a concrete strategy of where you want to exit. And as far as your entry is concerned, just know that you're doing it in an area where there's support, where there's some consolidation, so you can actually benefit from the move up. There's no reason to buy at the top or buy at the highs of the day. I don't see the point of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how ChargePoint performs for this coming week. We'll talk soon.